Yesterday was one of the craziest days I think I've ever seen, especially when it comes to streaming news out there. Just about every streamer you can name or creator had responded in some capacity to the Twitch update, which a lot of people thought was Twitch removing or strictly limiting the advertisements that streamers could place on their broadcasts while on Twitch. According to Twitch, though, all of this was a misunderstanding and a miswording of a very important announcement which they somehow could not word correctly the first time, opening up all of the public to interpret it in the worst way possible. Now, I still think there might be issues as to how this is implemented, but Twitch has now responded and apologized for the miswording of their statement and walked back at least a little bit of it. So we'll try and explain. As they stated, today's branded content policy update was overly broad. This created confusion and frustration, and we apologize for that. We do not intend to limit streamers' ability to enter into direct relationships with sponsors, and we understand that this is an important part of how streamers earn their revenue. We wanted to clarify our existing ads policy that was intended to prohibit third-party ad networks from selling burned-in video and display ads on Twitch, which is consistent with other services. We missed the mark with the policy language and will rewrite the guidelines to be clearer. Thank you for sharing your concerns, and we appreciate the feedback. We'll notify the community once we have updated the language. And that coming after this post went absolutely viral, brought to light by Zach, but if you go to the website as well, we were thinking that, okay, streamers were not going to be allowed to actually have ad placements bigger than 3% of the screen size, which is still a topic of scrutiny going forward to see what they change. Along with that, when it comes to burned-in display ads or burned-in video ads, which a lot of broadcast people use, not just streamers, but also esports tournament organizers, and these in-display ads as well, these burned-in display ads, we were thinking, okay, this is heavily restricting creators from just about any type of advertisement, and people rightfully freaked out because the wording, like Twitch says, was extremely broad. They walked it back right away, though, and it seems they are only going after third-party advertising networks. If you guys don't know, I've been talking to a few people here and there. These are the networks that a lot of these middle-tier streamers or a bulk of streamers will go to, and therefore they can have these burned-in display or video ads directly on Twitch, kind of bypassing the Twitch ads that they put on display. Kind of a weird thing, but also kind of understandable from Twitch's side. To give you guys an example of one that I found out there, you can literally use them through your OBS. They'll put the display ads or the video ads right on your stream. And some of them, I have to imagine the ones that Twitch are maybe going after, are taking advantage of the size, and hence why they maybe went after that 3%, which has also been a big debated point going forward. And Ludwig and others also bringing to light that apparently YouTube has this policy as well, and similar policy around these burned-in video ads and display ads, but a lot of the times they simply don't enforce it. We'll see how strict Twitch is with these kind of things and what streamers can get away with when it comes to ad placements, burned in, or whatever ad placements we are talking about. A lot of this still met with a lot of flack because when you have such an important announcement, it's crazy that you can't get the wording correct, and to think the public would not freak out based on how it was previously worded. I mean, clearly people took this and continue to take this the wrong way. So Twitch has restated they are not going after streamers who want to go ahead and get these sponsorships, these partnerships directly themselves, but these third-party networks apparently have been causing issues for Twitch, and thus why they even had to make this statement in the first place. We will have to wait and see how things exactly are reworded, but beyond that, it almost feels like the damage has been done because so many other things were brought to light with this update. We'll see if these things do change. As these updated policies were sent to streamers, these streamers have been sharing their emails with plenty of people out there. Even a new clause. This is a new clause, by the way, now saying partners and affiliates, anyone entering into the streamer agreement, not just inactive accounts. Anyone who has entered into a streamer agreement with Twitch will now have to pay the lesser of either fees accrued by their channel, which we don't exactly know the cost associated with streaming on Twitch. It seems to be pretty high, or a $25 flat fee just to get out of the user agreement. So if you at any point in time, this is tens of thousands of streamers, want to get out of that Twitch agreement, well, now you got to pay $25, which is not a large amount, but there's a large amount of streamers who probably don't want to pay that just to get out of an agreement. with a new clause now being added. And there's even further confusion on this whole simulcasting thing. Now these updated policies saying simulcasting might just not be allowed entirely. It will be allowed on these mobile first platforms. So it seems that maybe Instagram and TikTok will still be okay. So if you want to actually stream or simulcast or multicast on Twitch and TikTok and Instagram at the same time, we think that'll be okay, but it will not be allowed on Facebook or YouTube or Kick. That is my assumption. I am not 100% sure based on this wording, but what does that mean for someone like Ninja, who has now responded saying, hey, I'm gonna look into this? It just seems crazy that Twitch can put these updates and these statements out there, and still so many people are confused by exactly what it means. And you can't necessarily fault people for taking and interpreting these things the wrong way, especially the ad placement one, because it sounded bonkers. Like, they said it was overly broad, but to a lot of people out there, it seemed very specific when you said what streamers could and could not do, all the way down to the 3% of those logos in those displays too. I mean, you gotta think before you're putting these things out there for the internet to interpret, especially in a time where everyone wants to set everything ablaze, especially Twitch. So there's so much to still be learned about these updated policies and what Twitch has changed going forward. But as of yesterday, a lot of this was looked at in a very, very bad light. So once they correct the wording, I'll let you guys all know, and how they actually implement this stuff going forward. Does everyone exiting their partnership or affiliate or streamer agreement have to pay $25? What are the updates on simulcasting? And what exactly does it mean for advertisements being placed on a Twitch broadcast? What restrictions are actually going to be enforced? There's still giant question marks. And we're not done yet. Till next time, what do you guys think about this? This does partially make sense on Twitch's end, trying to stop these third-party networks from possibly placing conflicting ads on the site. But I will say it's hard to believe that Twitch put this out there and isn't backtracking a little bit and kind of blaming the wording. Like, did they mean to do this? And all of a sudden they saw the backlash and they're like, oh, we meant this instead. People have those doubts. They certainly do. What do you guys think? Till next time, take care. We'll see you back here sometime soon.